The Scottish wilderness is both awe-inspiring and unforgiving. With its vast, uninhabited stretches of moorland, remote glens, and weather that can shift from serene to life-threatening in minutes, it remains one of the most challenging environments in the UK. Every year, thousands of people venture into these wilds for adventure and escape, but many underestimate how treacherous the landscape can be. Mountain rescue teams in Scotland respond to hundreds of call-outs annually, often due to poor planning, unexpected weather, or simple navigational mistakes. The Highlands in particular offer no phone signal, sparse shelter, and rapidly changing terrain, making any mishap potentially fatal. Let's explore this in the next few stories, with the first one being the tale of Finny. Finny, a 33-year-old father from Tain, was deeply connected to the natural world. An experienced bushcraft enthusiast, he shared his knowledge and passion through his YouTube channel, Wildcat Bushcraft, teaching survival skills and celebrating the beauty of living close to the land. For Finn, the Scottish wilderness wasn't just scenery, it was his passion. On March the 25th, 2022, Finn set off alone for a weekend trek around Loch Naver in Sutherland, a remote area of the Highlands known for its beauty and isolation. He was dropped off at Loch Naver on the B873 public road at 2:15, intending to walk around the loch and then head south to Golspie where his vehicle was parked. He sent his final messages to his wife, Lucy, as he began his journey. She was 31 weeks pregnant at the time. We had just found out we were having a baby boy, she later shared. Tragically, after she dropped him off, Finn would be seen by a few witnesses on his journey before he completely vanished and was never seen again. When Finn failed to return, a major search was launched involving mountain rescue teams, drones, and Police Scotland's air unit. The search covered a huge area and had assistance from other mountain rescue teams and the Coast Guard helicopters. Despite extensive efforts, no trace of him was found. Friends and strangers rallied together to search for Finn, with a dedicated Facebook page set up to coordinate searches across a wide area. The search lasted for years, but in March of 2025, 3 years after he was last seen, the Creaney family made the heartbreaking announcement that they were ending the search. The decision was not a surrender, but a step towards healing. "Rest easy, Finn Creaney," they wrote, "always in our memories." But what happened? No one knows exactly what happened to Finn Creaney, which is exactly what makes his disappearance so haunting. But here's a breakdown of the known facts, and likely contributing factors based on available information and the nature of the terrain he entered. The conditions at the time of his disappearance were unusual. Unlike the typical early spring chill associated with the Highlands, records show that the period was warm, reaching 16 degrees on the day that he vanished, with temperatures climbing to 20 in the days that followed. These unexpected conditions have led to speculation that Finn may have attempted to swim across Loch Naver. It's unclear what might have prompted such a decision, perhaps a shortcut, an obstacle on land, or even an attempt to cool off, but if Finn did try and cross the loch, it would have been a dangerous move. Even in warm air temperatures, the water in Highland lochs remain cold, often well below 10 degrees. Cold water shock can set in almost immediately, impairing muscle function and breathing, and is one of the common causes of drowning in open water. But Finn was an experienced survivalist. He would have known this. His father did update people saying that his bag was located near Loch Naver, which fueled this theory. As we already know, Finn was dropped off near Loch Naver, intending to complete a multi-day trek south through the rugged Sutherland landscape, ending in Golspie, a journey of roughly 30 to 40 miles through some of the most remote and wild terrain in the country. That area is sparsely populated with few trails or paths, known for boggy moorlands, steppe hills, and thick forestry, largely without phone signal, and full of hazards like deep peat bogs, sudden rivers, and cliffs. Despite being experienced, Finn was alone, and even a small injury like a twisted ankle could have quickly turned into a survival situation. From everything shared by his family and friends, he was extremely knowledgeable. He regularly posted bushcraft and survival tutorials. He understood the land, the risks, and how to live in harmony with nature. That said, even highly skilled adventurers can be caught off guard. It's possible he underestimated the distance, or planned a route that was too ambitious for the time and conditions. Or perhaps he decided to take a detour and got lost, or injured himself early on and couldn't call for help. His disappearance is eerie, even in an area known for being tough to search. This has led to some in the public to speculate that Finn may have took his own life due to struggles with mental illness, but for his family and the professionals involved, the most accepted theory is a natural accident in a terrain that can hide even large objects or people from sight for years. I hope one day that his family get answers, and may Finn rest in peace. Unfortunately, Finny's disappearance is not an isolated incident in the Scottish Highlands. Each year people are lost or even killed whilst navigating the terrain, often due to the sudden and unpredictable nature of the weather, the complexity of the landscape, or simply by making a mistake. One such tragic case of this occurred in May of 2024, when a father and his young son went missing whilst hiking in one of Scotland's most famous areas. In May 2024, 49-year-old Tom Parry and his 12-year-old son Richie set off on a hill-walking trip in the area of Glencoe, a place known for its dramatic scenery and challenging conditions. Glencoe is one of Scotland's most popular destinations for hill walkers, but it's also notorious for its extreme changes in weather, which can transform the peaceful landscape into a hazardous environment in a matter of minutes. Tom was an experienced walker. The two had planned a relatively short trek in that area. They parked their car at Three Sisters car park, which can transform the peaceful landscape into a hazardous environment in a matter of minutes. Tom was an experienced walker. The two had planned a relatively short trek in that area. They parked their car at Three Sisters car park and set off. However, when they failed to return home, their family immediately raised the alarm. The search for Tom and Richie quickly became a massive operation, with mountain rescue teams scouring the area, but it wasn't long before the search revealed the grim reality. Their bodies were later found on Sandbrook Lochen, a peak in the heart of Glencoe. The recovery of their bodies was a heartbreaking moment for both the rescue teams and their loved ones. Police investigation suggested that the pair likely died from a fall. As stated before, weather can change rapidly in Glencoe, turning calm walking conditions into life-threatening situations. In Tom and Richie's case, it is believed that poor weather, combined with the rugged nature of the mountain, may have contributed to their fall. Whether they were caught by a sudden gust of wind, slipped on a rocky path, or simply misjudged a descent, no one can say for sure. However, their story underscores that things can change in seconds. Like Finny in the Parry family, the tragic disappearance of Kyle Sandbrook in February 2023 highlights the fatal risk posed by Scotland's unforgiving environment. In this case, however, the tragedy was compounded by the involvement of Kyle's loyal dog Bane, who accompanied him on the hike. Kyle, a 33-year-old from Scotland, was no stranger to the mountains. An experienced hiker and outdoor enthusiast, he had frequently explored the rugged terrain of Glencoe. However, like many before him, he fell victim to the sudden change in weather conditions. In February of 2023, he set out on a solo hike with his dog. However, when Kyle failed to return home, concern grew. His family contacted authorities and a search was launched. Rescue teams scoured the area for several days, battling harsh weather conditions including snow and freezing temperatures. The search efforts were hampered by poor visibility and the treacherous terrain, but eventually Kyle and Bane's bodies were discovered on the mountain. Authorities later suggested that the most likely cause of death was a fall, potentially whilst Kyle was carrying Bane, who may have become injured or exhausted. The investigation indicated that his fall may have become worse by the adverse weather conditions, which had worsened during the hike. This area had been hit by heavy snow and strong winds in the days leading up to his disappearance, creating hazardous conditions. The combination of the terrain and the weather, and the burden of carrying his dog, likely contributed to the tragedy. Although Kyle was an experienced hiker, even the most seasoned adventurers can be caught off guard by the unpredictability of the Scottish Highlands. May they all rest in peace. As always, this is not an AI channel, I do everything myself, and if you appreciate my work, subscribe, and if you want to go the extra step to support the channel, maybe consider becoming a member. As this video goes live, I'm currently adventuring in the Scottish Highlands myself. If you want to keep up to date with that, follow me on Instagram at Disasterthon. Let me know what you thought about these cases in the comments below, and have you been to Scotland yourself? As always, thank you for watching.